Good evening and welcome to Weatherfans Live here on Sunday, the 8th of February 26. I hope you are all well this evening. It's been a bit wet, hasn't it? I've got to admit. Been very wet out there recently. How are we all doing? I'm just going to put my head straight into the comments. Good evening to Laura. Good evening, Michael, and everyone. Mild, wet today, maximum of 9.9. Ooh, heat wave. I noticed the word wet has come into it again. It's been extremely wet, hasn't it, recently? Good evening to Matthew. Good evening, rain today, whatever stop. I know that feeling. Well, we're flooded. Well, we're not flooded house-wise, but the river just 100 metres down the road has actually been overflown for the last few days. Since the start of February, we've had 55 millimetres come through since the start of February. So if we had that for the rest of the month, 55 millimetres, we're talking about 210 for the month. But it'll take... the patterns don't change. We'll probably end up that way, but hopefully we won't. And also, Gab mentioned that the ECM WF12Z looks interesting tonight. I haven't seen it myself. Let's hope the cold snap lasts longer than predicted earlier. We'll take a look at that a little bit later this evening. Good evening to Anne Smith. I hope you're well on this Sunday evening. Good evening to Trust Zone Dog Training. And there she is. There's Stormy. Just hello to your fans. Hello. Yeah, let's put you back down. Say hello to your fans. Good evening to Olga Coffee. Hope you're well this evening. Good evening to Suit. I'll be able to join the live stream. That's okay. Stuff been excited going up the last few weeks, if I'm honest with you. You haven't missed anything exciting, Suit. I'll be honest, all the rain everyone else has had, I've sort of ducked it until yesterday. Oh, it's been awful. I think here, Central Midlands, I think it was all day Thursday and Friday, just kept raining while we've probably, had about 46 millimetres in the space of 2 days. Excuse me. It's just been awful. It's not surprised the rivers here have just overflowed. It's just been ridiculous how much we've had the last few days. Hello, Stormy. Yeah, she's just running to the other room. She was right next to me at the time. Oh, bless her. Stormy's got her own fan club. I wonder if we should do some merch with Stormy on it. Good evening to both my mods, James and Paul James. Good evening to you both. It's rained all day here too. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. Right, where shall we look at first? Let's have a look at how much rain we've had, the rise of Stormy. Or if we need to get Stormy on a bit of merch, I might have to speak to Gordon, get some ideas. Good evening to Kelly. The battle between the onslaught and the block has gone on for weeks. Now it'll be interesting if the block to the northeast begins to pushing the cold by mid-month and the pest from the west dominates back. Yeah, we need something to move across instead of just sitting there or being deflected back into the Atlantic. It's just making these slow pressure systems so slow at the moment. Hence why we're just getting these deluges. It's just even, as I say, it's just been nice if you can get these weather systems just coming through, so just going. Storm emerge has to be a flask. Let's see what we can come up with the merch. Get some ideas, I think. Cat stickers. Let's do a bit of brainstorming. See what I did there. Anyway, let's have a look at the latest flood warnings from the Environment Agency. We need Stormy to knock the PV off. Just get a pour just to go woof. That way. Right. Let's get myself off the full screen. So these are the latest flood warnings from the Environment Agency. So currently we have 98 flood warnings and 215 flood alerts, and 39 have been removed in the last 24 hours. Let's have a look at the flood warning map. So we're looking mostly across southern counties of England through central areas up towards the northeast of England. So just take these two off there. So there's no there's no severe flood warnings at present. The flood warnings scattered quite a few down towards the south there, through a few through the Midlands. Get your teeth in. And one up just here. I think that might be York. Is that York? Let's have a click. Yep, the River Ouse at York. And click into the flood alerts. More scattered across these central areas, definitely through the Midlands, where we're seeing these flood warnings. So excuse me. Just zooming a bit on the flood warnings. So I'm not going to go through it all because it's like about 300 flood warnings out at the moment. So I've got a few here around near Taunton. See if it's like something stick in my throat. So there are parrots around this. Is that Somerset? I'm guessing. I think it might be Somerset because you've got Glastonbury there and Yeovil there. So Currymore and Haymore, Saltmore, Northmore, and Clawmoreland. Then we've got a fair few along around Dorchester, towards Bournemouth, up into Salisbury. Is that Salisbury there? I think that's Salisbury. Just got one or two across southern counties. The Thistleworth on the West River Rother, and the Barcombe Mills on the River Ouse. Sorry, the reason why I said pause then for River Ouse, that's in Yorkshire, isn't it? Unless there must be another one. There's a few towards the west of London. So around the Chertsey, Bourne, River Kennet, and the River Thames for Shiplake and Lower Shiplake. Heading further north, I've got one towards north of Oxford for River Ray. Is this the River Severn? So yeah, River Severn from Haywood, Hayfoot Woods down to near Cheltenham. Continue further north. We've got one just to the northeast of Nottingham, Northampton. There's a couple around the Peterborough area. Then looking at this, I think this is the River Trent. So this is the River Trent from, well, my neck of the woods, to be honest with you, from through Burton up towards Newark-on-Trent. So anyway, along the River Trent, really probably heads up towards the Severn Estuary, towards the Humber. Could see some flooding, and we obviously got the River Ouse at York as well. And I said I'm not going to go through all these flood alerts because there are over 200 of these across the whole country, through from central southern areas up towards northeast of England. So yeah, 98 flood warnings and 215 flood alerts. So if you do, let me just copy that. If you do need to see if your river has been flooded, I shall post the link right now. Hopefully that's come up on the main chat. So any concerns about flooding, there's the link there to the website. So I'm going to put my head back into the chat. Oh yeah, not like that. Hold your cat sticker to say we like it when it's stormy. So flood warning still in Essex. Awful here. It's just awful, isn't it? Almost a catastrophe sticker. Oh, brilliant. Very wet here in York, says Anne Smith. Just awful. There was a flood warning on the River Bryan a few days ago, says Suit. Well, there is at least two River Ouse, as I can remember. So I must have found the other one down towards the south. So both oozes are oozing of water, shall we say. You don't need to look at flood alerts. It's not in my area. It's just been said. Look at that cold type of rain next week. We'll have a look at that in a few moments. Did anyone watch the Vortex Award last night? Some cracking pictures. I'm very pleased. Brandon took Storm Chaser of the Year. Very well deserved. Oh, I wonder if our Liz knows about that. I'll pop her a message after the live. I saw there was lightning strikes earlier in Wales. I didn't see that, to be honest. I've not really looked at the weather this afternoon because I've been busy. During today because I've been busy with my daughter. Good evening to Lee Stevens. Hope you're well, my friend. Spain been demolished by all the rain they had. Jetstream has been pushing all the Atlantic influence over there rather than usually in the UK. Yeah, we've got a very self-shifted Jetstream at the moment. I know, I'm still sharing the screen now. There we go. Yeah, it's been a very self-shifted Jetstream at the moment. Things could change in the coming week. Let me find the latest Jetstream. Just bear with me 1 second. Would help if I change my chart. Oh, that's stormy. So yeah, this is the current state of the jet stream. Let me just take a comment off there. So as mentioned by Kelly, we have got a very south-shifted jet stream. And what that has done is pushed really areas of low pressure after low pressure through the Med. And we've had an area of low pressure move towards the UK, but it's been detached from the main jet stream, and hence why we've just had a lot of rain for the past few days. It's just been detached from the jet stream, and it's just been slowly hang on. I can say the word. Mirandering. You know what I meant. We'll come to me in a second. Towards the UK. So let's have a look at what this jet stream's doing for the next week. So to start the week, oh, for goodness sake, I don't care about your ad. Let's make sure it's stated where it is, because the ad just popped up on the screen there. There we go. So yeah, jet stream staying to our south through the start of the week. Another strong, powerful jet stream coming through into Iberia, so taking winds over 200 miles an hour. Any signs of a change? So until the weekend, we'll start seeing the jet stream trying to push a bit further north. Heading more towards the UK, we're heading to day 7 and 8. And a slight signs there. The jet stream is getting more wobbly, shall we say. More amplified is the correct terminology. So instead of the jet stream going from west to east, it starts to take a bit more of a wave pattern. We start to see after today's 15, 16, that's the jet stream. It's pushing further north, and that's as far as we can get with the latest GFS. So I've been flat across the Atlantic, heading towards Iberia. The size of it starts to give it a wiggle on, getting more amplified as we head through this week into next weekend. While we're here, let's take a look at the pressure charts. I'll just set myself off the screen there. The pressure charts for the next week or two. So the latest pressure charts, like it has been for the last 6 years, we've got high pressure over towards Scandi, low pressure out towards the Atlantic, and this has just been blocking anything moving across the UK. So what happens with that high pressure? As the week goes on, looks like that high pressure does actually start to move away towards the east, out towards Russia. This allows low pressure to become more established across the UK and into Europe this time. And as we head into next Saturday, we've got low pressure into the North Sea. We've got the winds coming in from the northeast. Then that low pressure clears into the near continent. Then we've got low pressure out towards the Atlantic. Then there's another one coming in, being picked up by the jet stream. It could turn things quite wet and windy actually through to the start of, which is half term for some kids, if not all. So we're looking at days 8, 9, and 10. And quite wet and windy. Heading into days 11 and 12, bringing their northeasterly there. And there's actually signs of high pressure building behind that. So right about here, we actually started to see signs of the jet stream really getting very amplified. So good high pressure actually build in that, shall we say, gap of the jet stream. So there's a signs of high pressure temporarily even. And even here, we've got winds coming down from the north. So it's like this high pressure trying to build in towards the end of February. Let's have a look at upper air temperatures if we're dealing with mild or cold air. So right now we're looking relatively, I think I'm going to say mild, neutral, if I would say. Cold air towards Scandi, mild air towards the south. I've got that cold air waiting up towards the north. Once that low clears into the near constant as we head through the weekend, we're introducing cooler air from the north. Well, we've got this low in the Atlantic. We have another low coming from the south, introducing a bit more milder air. Again, as that decides to clear off towards the back end of next week, we introduce that cold air back in. And this is where we start seeing looks like high pressure trying to build in from the west. And on the season side, we're still dragging that cool air from the northeast. Then eventually, as that low passes down the North Sea. At the back end of this run, we've got heights trying to build up from the southwest again. So perhaps there is some hints there of high pressure trying to build. What we're talking about 10 days away at least. But now we're actually starting to see some progression from the Atlantic instead of being stuck across the UK. We start to see some progression of things move from west to east. Let's put it back into the chat to see if anyone else has come in or any questions. Meandering, that's the word. Thank you, Trust Zone Dog Training. I just couldn't find the word. YouTube needs to bring the spanner back. Yeah, that's so true, audio. The weather tends to go to pieces as soon as the kids finish school. Yeah, I've actually got a week off, from this Friday, really. So I've got a week with the daughter. Hopefully I should feel more refreshed. We shall see. Oh, have they changed the spanners then? I've noticed until Matthew pointed out yesterday on his live, I was like, no, my shiny spanner's been stolen and replaced by a shield. But yeah, on my screen here, as you can see on the thing, it's still shown as a spanner. Doesn't like a shield, looks like a blue blob. A spanner in the bucket. All right, what was I going to go next? Who was at the start saying about the ECMWF? Matthew said, Gav's mentioned that the ECMWF 12Z looks interesting tonight. I haven't seen it myself, but it's a cold snap. Well, let's have a look at the 12Z of the ECMWF. So let's bring it on and see. I've not looked at this myself as yet. Let's see how long it takes for these banners annoy me. That's why I've not been showing ECMWF much, because these pop-up banners. So make sure I've got the ECM up. Don't care about your banners. So let's run this through. So low pressure out towards the Atlantic, bringing in more spells of rounds. Going to put these into 24-hour periods just for now. Going to Wednesday, we've got a banner across the bottom which is blocking the view. Low pressure moved across the UK. Moving out into the near constant. We're changing our winds to a northeasterly, bringing much cooler conditions down from Scandi. I've got no air low pressure out towards the southwest, which continues going to nearby Europe. This is not bringing another layer of low pressure through. This has us a bit of a slack northerly, actually. So that's bringing much cool conditions down from the north. We've got a ridge of high pressure building up from the southwest as we're heading to next weekend, before another area of low pressure moves into the northwest of the UK. So that low pressure is a bit further north, going into days 9 and 10. We're in a westerly. We've got another low pressure going towards the south, and that is going to drag in much cooler air from the north again into days 9 and 10. So as we head into days 12 to 13, that is bringing down a northerly, and we've got heights rising towards the southwest. Does that head towards the UK and settles things down a bit? The answer to that is no, because an area of low pressure is moving from northwest to southeast. And that forms a deeper area of low pressure towards the south that, depending if the upper areas are cold enough, could produce some snow for some areas. So this is where Gab might be saying it's interesting, because we then get another area of low pressure coming down from the northwest to southeast. Again, if there's cold enough air interacting, we could see a spell of some snow for some areas. Now, let's put it back down to next Saturday. Let's have a look at the... Is that the upper areas? Actually, I'll be able to look at the 2 meter temperature. So, yeah. So let's see if there's enough colder air, these low pressures. So Saturday, 17th of February, we're looking just under 10 degrees. So we're looking for if there's enough colder air. So we're looking maximum of 6 degrees through to Thursday the 19th. So I remember now, I think it was Saturday where we start to see these low pressures moving down. So Might be calling us some snow for the Scottish mountains. I think any snowfall really will be for the higher ground, perhaps into northern England as well. So, not seeing any widespread snow on this run. Accumulated precipitation. Let's bring that towards the end of this week. See how much rain is actually forecast with this ECMWF run. So let's take it through to the end of Friday. So again, we're still looking quite wet. Many places getting around about 10 to 15 millimeters. Some areas down the northeast coast of England, we're looking around about 50 to 75, as well as about 25 to 50 towards southern counties. So it looks like central areas looking much more drier compared to the rest of the UK. But look at parts of Iberia, again, they're looking very wet, with perhaps 150 to 250 millimeters expected by the end of Friday. And do the whole complete run between now and 360 hours away. So we're talking the lunchtime on the 23rd of February, if that came off. Well, we don't want to talk about it. So let's put that back in the chat. Should we call wet? Oh, I've lost my chat. Let's bring that back. Should we call wetter Zent Banner? I know what you mean. Hang on, where have I gone? There we go. Snow, complaints when I send my snow boots back. Yeah, probably best to. I'm just now waiting for spring. I've had enough of this deluge. I just want warmer, sunnier weather. Even if it's getting into the teens now, I think I'm just ready for drier, warmer rain. Maybe some marginal snow events elsewhere. Yeah, it looks like that. If looking at that ECMWF run. My son said it was on 12 Fahrenheit -11 max the other day. Is that parts of America? Where do we go next? Let's gonna have a look at our weekly look. Washington DC. Go on, -11. Just imagine if London was maximum was a -11. Not sure if it ever has been. If it has, must have been a very long time ago. Don't think it got that low back into the December to remember. All right, I'm going to bring up the ECMWF weekly anomaly charts, see what this is bringing up. So these are the weekly anomaly charts from the ECMWF. This is from the 3rd of February through to the 16th of February. And like most weeks, it's got slow pressure of the UK, but this time it's a bit further east. And we're seeing a lot lower pressure towards eastern areas. And looks like that high pressure is eventually getting shunted out towards further eastwards. Still got some high pressure up towards between Greenland and Iceland. As I mentioned, this low pressure is a lot further across into Europe this time. So with this, we're still looking more of a westerly, looking a bit more of a still a northeasterly for northern areas. Going into the 16th to the 23rd, we've got low pressure set into the North Sea. It's bringing more of a northeasterly there towards more northern areas, looking more westerly, northwesterly through towards central southern areas. And is that heights building up towards the south? It is. So looks like Iberia will look out. So they're going to start getting a break from the deluge they've been having recently. High pressure moving up from the southwest. The 23rd of February through to the 2nd of March. No really clear signal there, to be honest, on here. So there's a bit of some high pressure towards the south. So, interesting. There's no clear signal at all, actually. Barely any signal at all looking at the start of March. So we can't really go anything on that looking at these. So similar drops as we're heading towards the end of February. And so we've got the same charts again, but this time look at the precipitation. No surprise, the 9th of February through to 16th of February. Western Europe, from Iberia towards north of Scotland, we are looking wetter than average, much wetter than average for parts of Iberia, southern France and through the Med. The 16th of February towards the 23rd of February, we're still looking wetter than average. Then the 23rd of February through to the 2nd of March, looking around about average, but this is where the signal starts to drop. Looking wetter for Central Eastern Europe. And the 2nd of March through to the 9th, we're looking average to perhaps drier than average towards the north. And it's not much clear signal at all at the back end of these charts. And finally, the 2-meter temperatures. We are looking cold and average for northern England to Scotland through northern Europe. Looking much milder, warmer towards central southern areas of the UK through into the rest of Europe, really. The 16th of Feb through to the 23rd of Feb, we're looking cold and average for central northern areas of the UK. Looking average elsewhere. Oh, that's just double clicked. The 23rd through to the 2nd of March, we're looking around average, and this is where the signal starts to drop. And we'll end that there. Good evening to Steffi. Hope you're well this evening. I'm guessing where you are, you've perhaps had lots of rain and perhaps been flooded in some areas where you are. Don't look at. So I was just looking further up in the comments to make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, tried to click it off there, then caught another banner. So yeah, looks like the signs of that high pressure that's been stubborn across Scandinavia into northern Europe. Looks like it's going to finally start to progress further eastwards. Finally, so we're going to start to see low pressure finally moving from west to east instead of moving up from the south. Well, it should well, I was going to say it'll be the end of the deluge, but we are going to still see some rain around, but hopefully not as persistent as we have been seeing. There's some signs of perhaps getting into a bit of cooler air, well, not necessarily cold. And there's some hints at the back of the charts where it looks like high pressure could build up from the southwest. But fingers crossed, we shall see. Even if it's for about 3 or 4 days, we just get a bit of dryness. We just need a break from this rain now. Need a break from this rain. So we're now the 8th of February, so we're only 3 weeks away until the start of storm season 26. We'll let you know if anything special is going to happen on that live. And yeah, we're going to end the stream in the next few minutes. Did I say it's someone's birthday? Oh, happy birthday to Steffi. Hope you have a nice birthday. Hope you've had a nice birthday. So there it is. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching this evening. Happy birthday to Steffi. And myself and Stormy, no dad. She's lying flat on the sofa beside me. We shall see you next Sunday from 8 p.m. Hopefully, might see some high pressure in the charts this time. Thank you to our mods, Paul, James, and James, to keep an eye on proceedings in the background. And thank you all for watching. And yeah, let's end it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next week. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Ta-ra for now. Bye-bye.